we have had lots of inquiries from people over time about our camping setup. So I thought I would just take this time to show you what we as the Safari family use. Our setup, every setup is different. Everybody's got different ideas, things that work for them. But we've had questions about ours, so I thought I'd give you a bit of a guided tour of our setup while we're camping here for 5 days at Monkwe. At this point, I just want to mention that nothing has been sponsored. In none of these products I'm promoting for any other reason other than we use them. I have purchased everything I've bought, I've saved up, I've sold things to buy other things, and I've done what I can. Now, you don't need all of this stuff, and there's a lot more that we could also do, but it's where you are and what you can afford. So with what I can afford to do right now and set up, this is how we roll. I've got obviously a double cab 2.4 automatic Toyota Hilux, a 2020 model Toyota Hilux, and I've got a front runner roof rack on the cab, and I've got a front runner roof rack on my Smart Cap Evo Canopy. Really awesome canopy. Now, on the side of that canopy, I have a gull wing with a kitchen unit in there. It is actually from an older model, but I managed to get a hold of it through a friend of mine, so I modified and cut and grinded and made a plan and got it to fit. So the kitchen unit is really cool. I find it super useful. I have a LU cab 270-degree awning. Awesome, absolutely amazing, love it. It takes less than a minute to open up and less than a minute to fold away, and just provides great shade or a little bit of shelter if it's drizzy for a while. On top of the front runner, on the cab, there is I've got a spade on the side. I use a spade all the time for various reasons and purposes. Got a 40-litre water container that I've adapted a tap to it with a hose that I clip in, and that just comes down the side of the vehicle to be able to get to water, to wash hands, drinking water, whatever. And on the other side is another front runner bracket with 2 20-litre water jerry cans, just for extra water if needed. I don't obviously keep those full all the time unless I'm needing water or we're going into a remote area like this or through the Savuti. So water containers, then in the middle, a bracket for a 9-kilo gas bottle. So that's the roof racks. That's all we got. Oh, and then the other side of the roof rack is a high lift jack and we call them a kalemba or a machete. That's just got a wing nut, easy to get off to cut trees and things that have fallen out on the road, or cut branches in camp or whatever. The rooftop tent is a Howling Moon rooftop tent on that side. It's a great rooftop tent. I really enjoy them. I think they're quick and easy to use, and there's a lot of space in these ones. At times the cover gets torn with the brush that you go through. I think ultimately, you know, this is our setup, but obviously we have goals and dreams. And I think a hard shell on top there would suit us a little bit better and easier to open and close than getting up there, zipping, folding. And, you know, often that zip gets sticky and needs a bit of Q20 on there as well. Gathers dust. And so, yeah, it's a great rooftop, and we use it often. I mean, we really do, but a hard shell at some point will be awesome. Just make life a little bit easier. You know, a lot of this, obviously the kids have got their roles and the things that they do, but I'm the one that ends up doing it all the time, most of the stuff. 2 spare wheel brackets on there. I like to carry 2 spares for remote traveling, and on each of the spares, you'll see the spare wheel covers on there. By Market 4x4 Assist, they're absolutely amazing covers. They are top class. These are the 6-pocket ones. There's a bunch of places to put a bunch of things, and you probably end up losing stuff inside them. They're like these backpacks with so many pockets and pouches in them that you forget where things are. And before I forget, also attached to the front runner, I have the front runner table that slides and clips in below the roof rack, and that's super accessible. Really great place to store a table, and really convenient to be able to slide it out and use it wherever you're traveling on the fly. In the back of my Hilux now, because I use my vehicle for many different purposes, at this stage I don't have a sliding tray system in the back here, but I do have a fridge in the back there. So I have an auxiliary battery with a solar charge controller and a 1000-watt inverter and a battery point there, and run all of that off of either off of the vehicle while we're traveling, or I have a 200-watt solar panel, foldable solar panel, a ready solar panel system here. They work super efficiently. I'm very happy with these 200-watt panels. Inside the gull wing, I also have one of those pouches for a bench seat in a bakkie, and I've just pop riveted that onto the back here, and I keep a bunch of spare parts and ropes and tie downs, etc. inside there, just out of the way off the floor. And then what I do is I strap the solar panels up into the top of the canopy for storage. Keeps them safe as a flat unit. And then if we come around this side of the vehicle, obviously we have the gull wing on this side, which opens up as well on the smart cap, which I absolutely love. And this is where I get to my fridge through here, and just a nice easy way to get in there. And I clip the lid open against one of the eyelets on the top here. Keeps the lid open while I'm trying to work in here, get stuff out and close it up. So that's pretty much my setup on this side of the vehicle. And inside the vehicle, if we go inside the vehicle, I have touched on this before. It's a pretty cool setup. Now, in the front of the car, I have a dash cover, I have escape gear seat covers, escape gear dash cover. 4x4 Assist does all of this stuff as well, and I got these awesome visors, sun visor pouches from them on both sides from Mark. It's as absolute win to put wallets in and pens and papers and whatever else you need. I do have a series of magnetic night ease points for the cell phones. I have a Garmin GPS as well. Drive Smart 65, so it's a couple of years old, but it works great and tracks for Africa on there. I have Old Man Emu suspension on the vehicle with the extra spring on the back, just to help with that weight load, that payload that we've got on the vehicle. You know, there is a lot of weight on the back end, especially when you put these rear bumpers on and you have, you know, two spares on the back sitting far back, you know, away from the axle. It just all adds to that weight. So yeah, just be careful not to overload your vehicle if possible, and try and, you know, obviously with the roof racks, one ends up putting a lot of stuff there from a safety perspective of, you know, your roll factor of the vehicle and your control of the vehicle. Just try and distribute your weight as evenly as possible over the axles. I have wired in an extra light on the back, LED light, just to help with reversing. Now, due to my bad back scenario, I need a good night's sleep. Maybe it's just getting old, and I opt to sleep on a stretcher bed. And so I have a heavy-duty stretcher. You will see the kids are in here now, chilling out. I have a stretcher bed with the mattress on there, little Z-fold mattress. We also use those Lumio blow-up mattresses that work very well, especially when we're hiking. Yeah, so a 3x3 dome provides a lot of space, actually. Nice to be able to stand up, change clothes and all of that. That's one thing with the rooftop tents, which is great as a on-the-fly go, as what I mentioned earlier. But there's nowhere to really change. You can have those drop-down shower units off the side, which work really well. But there's nowhere to really stand up and change and get things sorted out. So, you know, if you're staying somewhere for a few days like we are now, a 3x3 tent just works great. And they're relatively easy to set up and don't take up too much space. And I also find very useful is one of these mini blowers, especially up here in Botswana where it's so dusty. When you get somewhere and you have been absolutely smothered, everything's full of dust. This blower is great to just clean out the vehicle, clean out your tent, clean out whatever. So a little blower is definitely worth having. It's really small, packs away nice and easy. And also a good sort of heavy duty compressor. You know, you get little cheap compressors, but you know, your liters per minute it takes you forever. When you're in the sand, like up here, and you're deflating, inflating 4 tires, it can take forever, and they heat up as well, and if it breaks on you, then you've got a problem. So just a good heavy duty 4x4 compressor. Like everybody else on the Overland channels, the Indiflate. We use the Indiflate I've got for the two tire ones, which we deflate 2 tires at the same time, and then we'll do the other 2 afterwards. But it definitely speeds up your deflating and just evens out your pressures quite nicely. Camping chairs. Now, I know it's great to have these big elaborate sofas, and you know, it's part of your luxury to be able to sit in these big things, but I find that they just, when you're pressed for space, sometimes it's a bit overkill. And I picked up these little chairs in the States, these Ascends, but there are a lot of varieties that are out in South Africa now, and we use them for backpacking as well, and hiking, and for school sports and all sorts of things. And they fold up into a tiny little bag, and they take 2 seconds to open up, and they're super comfortable. Sit around a fire. Doesn't look like they'll take weight, but trust me, they do. I think they're rated up to like 200 kilos. And I just find them super useful. They don't take up any space, and you can just throw them in the corner of the vehicle somewhere. We have always used this, it's an older RSI stainless steel braai. I just prefer having my braai with my grid on it and knowing what I have every time I go somewhere, and it takes up no space. And one more item that I nearly forgot to talk about that I find is super, super useful are these telescopic ladders. Now, obviously on your rooftop tent, it normally has its own ladder, but to get one of these bad boys that folds down to nothing, it's super strong, and folds dung, 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 back down. And when you're trying to get onto your roof rack and you're trying to get a gas bottle off or get to your ammo boxes, these vehicles don't have many places to put your feet. So this little bad boy is an absolute win. So yes, in a nutshell, that is our setup. As I say, there are things that we'd like to still do or upgrade, and one day even go back to a Land Cruiser again would be amazing. But the Hilux does us well. We just love our setup. It works for us. And like I say, you don't need to have all of those things. You can get by with just, you know, whatever you have or whatever you can afford. But the main goal is just to get out there and go camping. Everybody's got a different setup. I think it's a great hobby to be able to go out to campsites and walk around and look at everybody's setups and who's done what, and steal ideas and borrow, you know, thought processes and experiences that people have had, and the reasons why they do things the way they do things. And campers are super friendly people, and they want to engage, they want to share their ideas, their experiences and their reasonings why they do things. So camping is just absolutely fantastic. And for the kids, I mean, the amount of friends that the kids make running around campsites, not here, there's nobody on site where we are right now, unfortunately, for the kids, but generally in other campsites there's a lot of kids flopping around and playing on bicycles and that, and they make friends and off they go and they do their thing.